Okay, so our next topic is going to be adding and subtracting polynomials. All this is combining like terms with the distributive property on some of them, okay? So when you are adding polynomials, they're going to be in parentheses like this. So when adding, you're going to drop the parentheses and rewrite, and then you're going to combine like terms. So when you see a plus, you're going to rewrite the whole problem without parentheses. So I would say 4k to the fourth minus 7k to the fifth plus 7k to the fourth plus 4k to the fifth. Okay, we're going to drop your parentheses. Now you're just going to combine like terms, and to make it easier, we're going to start off with our highest exponent, so our answer will be in standard form. So here is my highest exponent, negative 7k to the fifth. Also 4k to the fifth. Remember, you are going to circle your signs when you combine like terms. So you're going to add those together and you will get negative k, and you keep your exponent of a 5. Okay? Now you're going to combine your other like terms. So you have a 4k to the fourth and 7k to the fourth. So 7 plus 4 is going to be 11. Okay? And again, you bring down your exponent. Okay? So I cannot combine like terms. Because k to the fifth and k to the fourth are different. So I'm done. Okay, so this is our answer. And if we want to practice naming polynomials, we can actually name this. So that 5 is going to make it a quintic. And since there are two terms, it's a binomial. Okay, so let's add naming the polynomial in there so we can get some more practice with that as well. Okay, so why don't you press pause and try number 2, and then make sure you name it as well. Looking at number 2, I rewrote them without the parentheses. I started off combining my highest exponent first, so I combined 8 with a 4. And that is not 9. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm sorry. Well, it should be a 12. Okay, so 8 plus 4 gave me a 12v to the fifth. When I did v cubed and a negative v cubed, that gives you 0, which means you do not write it. So then I was left with this 1 plus a 4, and I got a 5. So when I name that, that exponent of a 5 means quintic, and since there were two terms, binomial. Okay? You will not always get quintic binomial. So that's how you add polynomials. So down here, we're going to subtract them, so we're going to find the difference. So when you're subtracting, you're going to distribute the negative and then combine like terms. So I know we're subtracting because there's this negative sign in here. The first thing you're going to do is distribute it. So you're going to distribute negative times a 1 and get negative 1. So remember, you're multiplying. Negative times a 2 would be a negative 2, and you bring down that term. Okay, so notice all that negative sign did was change the sign of this whole parenthesis. So that 1 became a negative 1, this 2 became a negative 2. So once you've done that, you're going to rewrite this first parenthesis without parentheses. Okay, so now I've got all these terms without parentheses, and my next step is to combine like terms. So I'm going to start with my highest exponent, which is b squared. So 5 minus 2 is going to be 3, and I'm going to add that b squared with it. 6 minus 1 is a positive 5. Okay, so I'm done. I can't combine like terms anymore, so now I'm going to name it. So that 2 is going to mean quadratic. And since there are two terms, it's a quadratic binomial. Okay? So again, you're going to distribute the negative to both terms, bring down that first parenthesis, combine like terms, and you are done. So press pause and try number 4 on your own. This one, the first thing I did was distribute this negative. So negative times a 5 is a negative 5. The most important thing here is notice a negative times a negative is a positive. So make sure that's a positive 6v cubed. And then negative times a positive is a negative. I then took this parenthesis and rewrote it down here without parentheses. So then I looked at my exponents, and I want to start with the higher one first. So I got this v to the fourth and v to the fourth. So I combined those like terms, and negative 2 minus a 5 is a negative 7v4. Then I looked at the exponent of a 3. So there was a 3v and a positive 6v, which would give me a 9v cubed. Lastly, I looked at this negative 5v squared and negative 5v squared, which will give me a negative 10v squared. It looks all nice and pretty because my exponent goes 4, 3, 2, so they're in order. And to name that, that 4 would mean quartic. Since there were 3 terms, trinomial. Okay, so that is how you add and subtract polynomials. Darn bell. So now you can work on your IXL, which is Z for adding and subtracting polynomials. Thank you for watching.